What's going on, everybody? Matthew back again for another TV review. This time we're doing Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 6, titled The Iron Throne. Let's go ahead and jump into the negatives for this episode. What I have here, the first thing I have is, where did Arya's horse go and why is she in the city? At the very end of Episode 5, The Bells, we see Arya get on a white horse that appears out of nowhere, and I believe it's supposed to be the symbolism for the white horse in Revelations of the Bible. But she gets on it and rides out, which would make you think that she's death, but none of that ever really transpires. She finds her way back in the city, even though she left it. There is no horse to be seen, so I don't know if that was some kind of weird dream or something. I'm not sure what that was all about other than the symbolism at the end of the 5th episode. And the next thing I have is, does Dany understand what liberation is? She comes out and she gives a speech about how she's liberated King's Landing, the people of King's Landing. And, you know, we saw her burn and toast a ton of them. I assume some are still left alive. I didn't see any in this episode, so I don't know who she's talking about when she says that she liberated somebody. I have, why does she keep using that word? Are there any citizens left alive to liberate? Yeah. She uses that word liberate 2 or 3 times in that speech. And I just have to assume that she's gone completely crazy, because obviously she isn't liberating anybody. What is she talking about? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, the next thing I have. After Dany is killed by Jon, I have, why did Drogon burn the Iron Throne when it knows that Jon is the rightful heir? Was it saying that if Dany can't sit in the throne, then no one can? Do dragons think like that? So, obviously after Jon kills Dany, they make you think that the dragon is going to kill Jon. And instead it just burns the Iron Throne down, as if it knows what that is. I really don't understand what this means. To me, it means that if she can't be queen, then no one can. But obviously, Jon's the rightful heir, so yes, Jon can still sit on the throne. So I don't understand that. I mean, I guess it was done for visuals and just to see the throne destroyed, which was cool. But I don't understand why a dragon would do that on its own accord. I don't get that. If you know, explain it to me in the comments. Okay. Next thing I have is the 2-week skip in the middle of the episode is the worst part, because it skips everyone's reaction to Dany's death, just like it skipped all the reactions to Jon's identity in episode 4, I think it was. You can't expect me to believe, you can't expect me to believe that the Unsullied and the Dothraki wouldn't kill Jon for killing Dany. Now, it just skips ahead 2 weeks, and there's so much within those 2 weeks that I would have loved to have seen. I would have loved to see the Unsullied and Dothraki's reaction to finding out that Jon killed Dany. We have to assume that Jon, after the dragon took Dany's body and flew off, that he just walked outside and told everybody what he did. And then the Unsullied and the Dothraki just took him prisoner instead of killing him, which, no, there's no way. There's no way he tells them what he did and then they don't kill him. I don't understand. Okay, and then you have Sansa and everybody, every leader from every country. We don't get to see any of their reactions to Dany's death. We cut to them and they already know she's dead. They all already know that Jon killed her. And we just don't see any reaction to it. It's just, what do we do now? They just skip it, which is really bad. That's really bad. I mean, you've already skipped everyone's reaction to who Jon is. I mean, literally everybody. You skipped Sansa, Arya, and Tyrion's reaction to hearing the news. And now you skip everyone's reaction to Dany dying. To me, it just shows me that the writers, Benioff and Weiss, didn't know how to write it. They were scared that they would write it the wrong way, and they just They fled. They just left. They just ignored it. They said they had the person like Sansa pose the question, what if there was another ruler to Tyrion, and then you just cut. Same way you cut from Bran telling Arya and Sansa who Jon is. You just cut away because you don't know how to handle that situation, I guess, which says a lot about your writing and directing, and just makes me really worried about the new Star Wars show they're doing. That's the worst part of this episode. It's terrible. And the last thing I have for my negatives, and I really didn't like this either. Did Sansa make the North independent just so that she could be a queen? Why does she need to do that if a Stark is king in King's Landing? If a Stark is already ruling all of the land, then what reason does she have to turn the North independent other than just so that she could be queen? To me, it came off as very selfish, and I couldn't think of any reason why she would do that. She says it's because the North used to be independent. I don't buy it. I don't believe that's why she did it. I don't believe that. You're telling me your own brother just became king, and you want to be independent of him. Give me a break. It's just because she wants to be queen, and the writers wanted to do something with her. That's all it was. Yeah, I mean, that's all I have for the negatives. Now, they're big negatives. I don't, like I just said, I really don't like, I didn't like Sansa like everybody else did at the beginning of the show, but obviously she went through a lot of rough patches, and you like her. And then at this very last episode, I don't like her again, because she does this move just so that she can be queen. Man, I really don't like it. So that one, the 2-week skip, terrible, just awful. And then these questions I have about Dany's liberation, Drogon burning the Iron Throne, and Arya's horse, those aren't huge, but those last two, the 2-week skip and Sansa, really bothered me. Okay, let me quickly say, I don't have a problem with Bran being king, but I'm about to get there in a second. So, okay, here are my positives. Obviously, the shots were beautiful. I think Benioff and Weiss directed this episode. They have beautiful shots, no doubt about it. It's just their writing that I question. You know, it's a good comparison to Rian Johnson, where I thought the shots in Last Jedi were beautiful, but the writing was terrible. Some of these directors need to just be directors. They need to quit writing. They really do. Just direct. Get a good writer and direct that script. That's all you got to do. Quit trying to tell me you're a writer too. Give me a break. Okay, so I have the one specific shot that stands out to me that I thought was the best of this episode. Was the shot when Jon Snow is about to enter the hall where the throne is, and the dragon wakes up and shakes the ashes off, and there's that wide shot of the dragon. I hope I'm on the right side of the screen here, looking at Jon and sniffing him before Jon walks past. Best shot of the episode, I believe. Obviously, there were many others, but that was my favorite. The acting, always good. This show never had a problem with that. I mean, people talk about Jon Snow and Dany's acting. I thought both of them have done a good job this whole show. Jon's done I can't remember, Kit Harington has done a great job of portraying this very honorable and unselfish person, while Dany has done, in my opinion, or what's her name, Emilia Clarke, has done a great job as Daenerys, as showing this girl that really wanted to be a good ruler, and slowly the power goes to her head. You can see that throughout the whole series, because I've been telling people I know that watch the show that for a while, for years now, that I think she's going to die a villain, and sure enough, that's what happened. So I was happy to be right about that. But yeah, all the acting is good as normal, and I liked where everyone ended up except Sansa, because it was pointless. So let's first talk about Bran. A lot of people have a problem with Bran being king. I have no problem with that, because it makes sense. You want the wisest guy on the planet to be king. He knows the past, he knows the future, and he's, all intents and purposes, a good guy. I mean, some think that he maneuvered everything so he can get in this seat of power, but for what? So he could do evil things? No, I don't believe that. Jon Snow ends up back at the Wall. I never saw this coming, but I love it. I love it because I thought he was going to die or he was going to be king. I thought those were the only two options. Him going back to the Night's Watch, to me, I don't know if that's where he was his happiest. It was probably with the Starks and living in Winterfell. But ever since he left Winterfell, I've always thought that he enjoyed being there and protecting the realm of man. So that did not bother me at all. So Jon's ending I liked, Bran's ending I liked, Brienne, I liked her ending. Tyrion being handed the king, fine with me. The only one I didn't like was Sansa, because I thought it was pointless and she only did it for selfish reasons so that she could be queen like she always dreamed of from the pilot of this whole series. Arya is going off on an adventure. That sounds right to me. I mean, what is she now other than an adventurer? She's not, like she said, she told Gendry, I'm not a lady. I'm not built for the whole queen and castle thing. I got to go out and fight and explore, and that seems right to me. Who am I missing? That's all I think. Jon, Bran, Tyrion, Sansa, Arya. If I'm missing anybody, let me know in the comments. But yeah, Sansa's the only one I had a problem with. So yes, this season has been bad. It's been very rushed, but I'm happy to say that I'm pretty much happy where everybody ended up. I wanted Dany to die. I didn't want Jon to die. I think they have the right king. Everything ended up fine for me, but unfortunately, I'm still going to have to give this episode, I think, yeah, I'm just going to give it a 7 out of 10 like I did last week. This whole season has been average at best. By Game of Thrones standards, it's sucked. By Game of Thrones standards, but average at best by just TV standards. But yeah, that's my review. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Let me hear your opinion in the comments. Hit the like button and please subscribe. And see you guys next time.